Hi, in this video we will talk about pattern matching. To download the gist with the code, follow this link. First, let's talk about optional types. In some language you have keywords or optionals, and other you don't, and you just leave with no pointer or null or undefined. In jsligo, the optional type is called option. Let's have a look at some examples. Here in this example, I create a function div that takes two parameters, two naturals, and I want to divide a by b. But I have to be careful about b, because if the denominator is equal to null, I don't know what is the output. As an exception, or here for example, I will return none. It means that my optional is null. If I know that b is different to 0, I will just return the division of a by b, and I return sum of a divided by b. If you are sure that if you call this function, the return type will be always a sum of something, you can use another function from the library option, we call option.unops, to extract the value inside the sum. So for example, here I use my function and I divide 1 by 3. I know that the result will be a certain value, so I can extract the value on the sum. Be careful, because if you have variables and you don't know here in this example what is the value of b and it could be 0, don't use this function, because it's dangerous and will raise an exception if you don't control the values inside. Variants are a kind of enumeration that you can find, for example, in other languages as enum, but they are not only just strings or numbers, a constant number. Here they can hold values, and it's very interesting. We will see how to use this now. So here I have to define a specific type for my enumeration. So here it can be 3 different values, an administrator, manager, or a guest. And for the two first values, I can add, I can store a value inside here that is a natural, that is the ID of the person. So when my type enumeration is defined here, my variant, I can instantiate my variant here, for example, admin, and I have to pass in the constructor what is the value I declare. And for guest, I use the default constructor because I have no argument. Okay, so now we have seen these types. We can talk about pattern matching. So pattern matching is something similar like a switch case, but it applies on a lot of different objects. For example, we will see pattern matching on optional, on variants, but also on structures and tuples. Let's see the first example with a variant. Okay, so the syntax for the pattern matching is like a switch case, like I said. So, but you have to replace by the keyword match when. And then inside here I have a variant. And what is important here is that the compiler will check that my list is exact and is also not duplicated. So I have to do all the cases that are declared in my variant. If you are curious about the syntax, you can have a look on the TypeScript TC39 pattern matching, and you will see that it's quite similar. Now let's see pattern matching on a record. To do pattern matching on a record, you have to define a record type, and then in the when condition here, you put something that looks like the same definition as your type. So here I have a field A, B, and C, and here I can even rename a field like B to be renamed, and C I can inherit, for example. So pattern matching on tuple is pretty straightforward. So you have to describe what looks like your tuple with the 3 types that I defined here, X, Y, and here in your S, for example, and then I can reuse it after to return my values. I can also do pattern matching on list. Let's see how to do that. So to do pattern matching on a list, you have 2 cases, or the list is empty and I return here, for example, -1, or I destructure my list because it's not empty and extract the header. And on the second part, I have the reminder that is the rest of the element on the list, called the tail. The last pattern matching we will see now is on optionals. So here, for example, it is a secure way to extract a value from an optional. I will check that there is no value inside of the optional in the first case, and then I will return an exception. If I have a value in the second case, I return and I extract the value error. Okay, thank you for watching and see you next time.